All right, chapter 34, vertebrates. So let's review. What are the four characteristics of vertebrates? Post-anal tail, pharyngeal gill slits, dorsal hollow nerve cord, and the notochord. You got to know those by heart. I promise you got to know those by heart. Understood? So vertebrates. You've got a vertebral column or a backbone. These include your amphibians, your reptiles, your birds, and your mammals. Okay? They've got bilateral symmetry, right? Only one way to cut them in half. Deuterostomes, they're doo-doo first. So they were, the first opening that is produced is going to be their anus, not the mouth. They've got a dorsal hollow nerve cord made from the ectoderm. There we go. The notochord at some point in development, pharyngeal gill slits, or clefts, that's the other wording for it, and a post-anal tail. Notochords, longitudinal flexible rod that's going to be found between the digestive tract and the nerve cord. In humans, its remnants are your discs, right? If you've ever heard having a slipped disc, all right, or a disc that's been having some, you've got damage to your C2 or something like that, that's what we're talking about, okay? That's remnants of your notochord, okay? The chordates nerve cord is dorsal back, derives from the ectoderm. Pharyngeal gill slits. Chordate embryos form a series of little pouches that are separated by grooves or clefts off the sides of the pharynx. And tetrapods, they become parts of the ear, the head, and the neck. So you see these right here. Boom. Remember, urochordates, tunicates, and cephalocordata, those are your lancelets. Okay. You want to know this order by heart. Fins, jaw, swim bladder, amniotic egg, four-chambered heart. This is the chordate evolution. So as you go into the evolution, this allowed us basically more energy, right? So first we had fair pins, more movement. Then we had jaws. We could eat food better, so we got more out of the food that we were eating, so we got more energy. Swim bladder, more control, swimming in the water column. Amniotic egg, we were able to get out of the water onto land. And then we had a four-chambered heart. You better believe if you got a four-chambered heart, you can start running fast versus a two-chambered heart or a three-chambered heart, okay? So, fins, jaws, swim bladder, amniotic egg, four-chambered heart. Please, please, please learn these in that order. Very important. Craniates, hagfish. Oh, these guys are pretty cool. The way they get away from prey is they actually produce this slime. So if you actually come and attack them, they will produce like this nasty behind slime. It's ugh. Remember biology, I actually show a video about these guys. It's nasty. Really cool though. Look, Google it. Invertebrate chordates have a head but no spinal cord. So here we are. We're getting that in-between section. Allows for active predation. Have a higher metabolism and more extensive muscular system, and a heart with at least two chambers, not four, two, so very early on in evolution, and red blood cells with hemoglobin. Lampreys are the simplest vertebrates. Most are parasites. Cartilage skeletons and jawless. So they don't have a jaw, right? These are the ones that are a big problem in the Great Lakes. Fish will swim, and the lampreys will come up to them, suction onto them. They have circles of teeth. They latch on and they gnaw at the flesh, and they release an anticoagulant. And a coagulant is what causes you to stop bleeding. So if it's an anticoagulant, it's going to make you keep bleeding. So the fish is going to slowly bleed, and the lamprey is going to sit there and just suck on that blood and get all the nutrients it needs. Chondrichthyans, these are your sharks and your rays. They've got very streamlined bodies for fast swimming, but they're really not good at maneuvering. It's why a lot of shark experts, they feel pretty comfortable reading shark behavior, and obviously skates and rays, sharks being the most dangerous. The one exception are, any ideas? Hammerhead sharks. Hammerhead sharks are actually the most difficult sharks to read because of the way their head is. Their eyes allows them to read better their environment, one of their evolutionary benefits, and allows them to quickly turn and have a better body movement than other sharks, ironically, even with that weird body shape. So they've got a very strong sense of smell and eyesight to make up for the fact that they're not great at swimming around. Continuous swimming keeps them afloat and helps them pass water through their gills. They do not have a swim bladder. They do not have a swim bladder. So early on in evolution, not later, early. Internal, so these guys have been around for a long time. Interfertilization with young producing eggs that are released externally, oviparous, egg released, oviparous, or retained internally until hatching, ovoviparous, so it's an egg that's released inside, and then it looks like they're live bearing, but they're not. It's an egg that's hatched inside the mom. Only a few species are viviparous. Viviparous means live bearing. That would be like us, okay? Humans, with embryos getting nourishment from the mother. They have a cloaca, which is a common opening for excretory and digestive and reproductive system. So it's one opening for urine, fecal, and reproductive purposes. Osteichthyes, this is your bony skeleton. This includes your fish and your tetrapods. Okay, fish breathe through the gill covered by an operculum. So that hard part over the fish that's going up and down like this, that's your operculum. Control their buoyancy by a swim bladder. They can inflate the swim bladder or deflate it. When you look at the dissection, please look, the swim bladder is paper thin. Paper thin, I kid you not, okay? Most are oviparous, meaning they're egg laying. Ray fin fish, fins are modified for maneuvering, defense, and other functions. They originate in freshwater and moved into marine life. Some life cycles, like the salmon, involve moving from saltwater to fresh, the opposite. Lobe fin, so see how it's a lobe like that? Okay, they've got rod-shaped bones surrounded by a thick layer of muscle in their pectoral and pelvic, pectoral, your pecs, pelvic, hind, right? Your pelvic bone, pectoral. Coelacanth have been found in the Indian Ocean. The lungfish, the third lineage, gave rise to modern tetrapods on land. Lungfish are freshwater. They'll come to the surface to gulp air into the lungs, even though they've also got gills, and they're found in the southern hemisphere. They're really cool fish. Tetrapods. The limbs of lobe-fin fish became arms and legs. So tetra, four, pods, extensions, if you will. The great diversity of tetrapods evolved during the Devonian and Carboniferous periods. So four-legged organisms, right? We move from water to land. Amphibians is going to be your first ones. Most amphibians require a humid or moist environment. The reason being, a lot of their gas exchange is through their skin. So if their skin is not moist, they actually can't breathe. They will suffocate, okay? Breathing is through gills when aquatic, and lungs or skin on land. Some gas exchange to the skin. They need that moistness, okay? Amniotes, amniotic egg, so they're egg laying, right? They can go even further inland. They don't need to have that moist skin. They can go further inland. That's your reptiles, your birds, your mammals. They have the amniotic egg that protects the embryo from drying out on land. The embryos have developed externally. They're surrounded by a shell that protects and keeps them from drying out. There's a beautiful amniotic egg, okay? The yolk sac is not the baby. The yolk sac is the nutrients that feeds the growing embryo, which is attached to it, okay? The eggs that we eat are unfertilized eggs. Cool. Reptiles, they've got scales that contain keratin. I would know that. A keratin protein that helps prevent drying out. Lepidosaurs, these are snakes that are legless but have vestigial leg bones. They're really, really cool. Turtles, they've got a box-like shell that's fused to the vertebrae, clavicles, and ribs. So if you actually try to remove the shell of a sea turtle, no way, Jose. Okay, it's actually fused. The largest sea turtle is the leatherback, and it can dive as deep as 60 meters. That's 180 feet deep, guys. Pretty amazing. Obviously, some turtles live in the desert, land, freshwater, marine, all the environments you can think of. Crocodilians, good lord. Began on land and then decided, you know what, we're going to go back in the water. It's cooler there. Cooler isn't better, not temperature-wise. Birds. Here's what's cool about birds. Do you remember, hopefully you've seen the movie Pearl Harbor. In the movie Pearl Harbor, in order for them to be able to take off and bomb Hiroshima, they had to lose weight on the planes because they got seen sooner than expected. And they had to lose weight. So they said we got to drop weight. We got to drop weight off our planes in order for us to be able to fly further and actually make it, so we can drop the bombs. It's pretty much what birds have evolutionarily done. A female bird, instead of having 2 ovaries, only has 1. Why have 2? You only need 1. Pretty smart. They don't have they don't have a bladder. Why produce urine? They concentrate their fecal matter by mixing their urine-like production with their poop, with their fecal matter. It's really cool. They have an incredibly high metabolic rate, no joke. It takes a whole lot of energy in order to lift your entire body weight and fly. They've got very efficient lungs, and they have a 4-chambered heart. That's right, crocodiles do not. 3. They have 3-chambered heart. Birds have 4. Birds and mammals are the only 2 clades that have 4-chambered hearts. Okay? They have incredibly good vision, muscle control. I mean, you name it, it's amazing. Mammals, they obviously have mammary glands, hence the name. They have hair. There are 3 major lineages of mammals. The monotremes, your egg-laying. Your marsupials, you're pouched. And then your eutherians, placental. That's us. And a few others. Monotremes, okay, that's your platypus and your echidnas. You're a echidna. You're so cool, okay? These guys lay eggs, they produce milk and mammary glands, but they don't have nipples. Babies will actually come and lick the milk off of the fur of the mother. There's a little baby right there. There's a baby platypus. There's 2 babies with the mama right there. So, really cool. Marsupials, that's your opossums. Opossum is the only marsupial found in all of North America. Darn it, the only other place that's got marsupials is Australia. So, love your opossums. They're pretty cool. Kangaroos, koalas obviously produce milk and mammary glands with nipples. Only have some of the development inside the uterus. The babies are born. They are incredibly small. Look right there. That is, I want to say that's inches, but I'm not even sure. That might be centimeters. Quite honestly, I can't quite tell. They're incredibly small. They're really, really like the size of a safety pin is what everybody always says. And the mom licks the path for the baby to follow once they give birth to the nipple, and it's inside the pouch, and the baby grows inside the pouch and suckling on the nipple, and it finishes development in the pouch. Embryos start developing inside the mother's uterus and are connected through a placenta. That's it. Eutherians, longer periods of pregnancy with young completing their development inside the uterus. Here you have all this cool lineage, all these major orders of mammals. I'm letting you look at this on your own. We've got anteaters, armadillos, sloths, of course. Primates, your lemurs, your monkeys, your chimpanzees, your gorillas, your humans. Opposable thumbs, that's what separates us from all of the other groups. Forward-facing eyes, okay? Well-developed cerebral cortex, omnivores. Primates, this includes lemurs, tarsiers. That's a tarsier right there. He's so pretty, so cool. Monkeys, apes, and humans, they've got a huge brain, a short jaw, giving them a flat face. Humans, bipedal. We stand on 2 legs. Bipedal, pedals, feet. Hominoids with large brains. Homo sapiens is about 160,000 years old. That's it. We've got reduced jaw bones and jaw muscles, smaller digestive system. This is the evolution of man. Pretty cool. Homo erectus, Homo neanderthal, separate species from Homo sapien. Understood? Paleoanthropology, study of human origins. The oldest hominid fossils are between 6 and 7 million years ago. Pretty cool. With the genus Homo, a sexual dimorphism is a size and is reduced, which may indicate more pair bonding. Homo erectus is the first hominid to migrate out of Africa. Pretty cool. And we finished with our vertebrates, guys. One more chapter, and we are done with 2011.